welcome
Oh shit.
to the viral podcast.
We can start again. Or do we just roll with this?
I don't mind, man. I'll cut it out at the beginning. I say we roll with this, though.
Yeah, fuck it.
I'm
that's
here.
the tone.
My name is John, with my good friends.
I'm Peter.
Oh fuck.
This is going great.
Oh god.
This is all staying in, man. This is staying in.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm Adam.
I'm intern Carl. Oh, Peter, shut up.
Intern Carl.
What do you mean?
Fucking intern talking over Peter. Degenerate.
Innit? No, I'm not getting paid.
Get back in your private room, Carl.
Yeah.
Hey, let him say his name. We have an intern. His name is Carl. Don't get me wrong. We're all unpaid, but he's the
We
intern.
pay him
Um,
less.
I'm doing it for extra free.
He's giving
He
us
pays
money.
us to be on the podcast, yeah.
So we just decided to make it an old podcast. Do you know what I mean? For the shits and giggles, because
Shits and
everybody's
pants.
inside with the coronavirus. It's a pandemic. It's an
We've all
epidemic.
got it.
Shout
It's
out to the
all the other
boys.
demics, and hopefully this will blow up. And
I mean, what do you mean hopefully? When this blows
when
up,
this blows up, people will look back
Yeah.
at this episode and be like, "Wow, they were so rusty.
they haven't changed at all.
They haven't
They
changed
still all talk
a
over each other.
single bit." Yeah. So feel free, join in the conversation. Leave suggestions in the comment section down below.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah. Intern Carl is gonna not do anything this entire time because he's just an intern. No, I'm only joking. Carl can talk. Well, within reason. If I give him permission, he has to ask.
when he's spoken to.
So yeah, that's it. So just for background, we're all in Ireland.
Pog.
We all go to Maynooth University, apart from Carl. He's graduated from university.
Nerd.
And me, John, study science in Maynooth. So I'll
I
hand
do
you over
the
to Adam.
exact same thing, but I'm in first year and he's in second year.
I'm the only one that's not a copycat.
My man went into Maynooth handbook, picked out the one with the biggest name, and was like, "Yeah, that'll make me sound good." And just for proof, Peter, what's the course that you do?
International Economics and Finance.
Oh yeah, of
Yo,
course.
that's
Every
just
little
made
boy's
up some
dream,
shit.
isn't it?
Dog. All I'm saying is it helps in it.
Fucking
Every
dumb
night we
bitches.
go out on- Oh my god, that's crazy! You must be so smart. That sounds really hard.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Fucking
Yeah.
dickhead.
I'm like,
Man.
I am, It's just a really hard course. And then I just go out slag a dick. What can I say?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Business. I actually didn't listen to what you said when you named your course at all, but it's business something or other.
International Economics and Finance. How dare you disrespect me like that, bro?
Hey, man. I don't care.
He didn't listen the second time either.
I don't
Come
care.
on.
So yeah, we're all in university. I'm in second year with Peter, and Adam is in first year. And we're just
gonna
gonna.
be on first year again next
I'm
year.
a
of
loser
course.
who's graduated and not done anything with his life. So.
True.
And now he's an unpaid intern on an unpaid podcast. So what could be better, guys?
So, I was thinking we could start off with saying how we know each other, how we met.
Oh yeah, that'd be kind of pog. We all work in the same place. Wait, fuck, can we say that? Oh wait, if we just give
No.
them free
No,
ads,
we
if we give them free
No.
ads, we give
No.
them free
No,
ads, and then we're
we're-
allowed to
we're
say
not-
it.
I'll
Listen,
bleep it
work-
out.
I'm not-
I'll bleep it
No,
out.
fuck that shit. We work at the.
No,
Worst
bleep
No,
it.
we
No,
can't.
I'm
No,
not- I'm
fuck
not-
that,
I'm
bro.
not- I'm not giving them free ads. Like you have.
What do
Hey,
you
you
mean, man?
dumb, man.
We'll
They
get
pay us.
fired.
Yeah, no free ads. You fucking get in trouble.
All right, never mind. We don't work there. We all work in the same place. We all work in a hotel. And we all joined. Well, Peter joined like maybe 2 months before us. Was it
If
Peter?
even, yeah, about 6 weeks.
Yeah, and me and John joined at the same time when they had a recruiting day thingy. So there was a couple of us that all joined, and we're all kind of close. We hate most of them now, but
Yeah.
the three of us kind of. Well, four
Yeah,
of
not-
us. Carl
not the
also works
fact-
there.
Not the fact we're in a connected by blood there, Adam. No.
Oh yeah, well no, Carl lives
the
in my
fact I went
house.
to
School
now
with
to
the
school
two of
with you
us.
for like
Yeah.
6
Well,
years.
no, I mean, I was going back to how we all know each other, right? Carl is my brother. He's a degenerate in the family because, he's graduated and he still lives here, which is kind of, it's kind of cringe, but whatever. Me and Peter, we went to the same secondary school together. I don't know. I think we've been friends since first year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, friends
What do
since
you mean you
first year.
think, dickhead?
Man.
Yeah, I'm just figuring out who my real friends are now. What the fuck?
And then, yeah, John, we all know from work. I think
Yeah,
that's
I
everything.
went to a different secondary school. I didn't know anybody before I joined.
No. So,
In
oh,
the
we've known each
hotel.
other, sir. What?
It's
We're
like
coming up on 2 years,
two
right?
years, yeah.
Yeah. And then Peter, I've known for, I don't know, like
6, 7.
8
7, I'd
maybe.
say. Yeah. I don't
Hey,
know.
yeah.
Since 2013. 7.
7 years.
Oh no, well, it's supposed to 2012. The end of 2012.
8 years. Fuck.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Worst 8 years of my life.
So this is
What
the
you
last time me
mean?
and Peter are going to be talking.
Yeah. This is the first and last time Peter's on the podcast.
Wow. Been discarded.
So yeah,
Um,
it's the first episode. Things are going to be a bit scuffed, you know. I'm using a headset mic. Pretty sure Peter's using his cum rag talking through it.
No, so what we've done for Peter is we've attached a tin can to a string and brought it to his house, which is why his mic quality is sick. And then I've got the other end of it, but I've got like a special tin,
Tin
so
can.
it's a little bit better,
True.
Uh, yeah, and then Carl's just, he's unpaid, so he can't really afford a mic. So he's just screaming from the other room into my mic.
Yeah. So Adam is responsible for 3 out of the
Yeah.
4
If I go down, we all go down.
microphones. So I'm like moving my mouse around a lot because I'm trying to find a place where the names will stay up. I think I got it there. Excuse the mouse. It's like up in the top left corner. It's kind of annoying.
Trash.
But hey, listen, scuffed. We'll work out the kinks.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is why we need a producer. First person to comment on the video is the producer. Unless we know them. In that case,
possibly.
fuck you guys. No, even better. First person to comment on it gets to come on the podcast.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good idea.
That is a good idea.
First person that we
can
don't
make
know,
friends.
and we're
Yeah.
not
Oh, yeah,
telling
we know you,
anybody that
Sean.
we know.
If it's you, shut up. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck.
Oh,
I don't know. What do we go into next?
All right. So, what are our plans for this podcast? You know, hypothetically speaking, if things
make money.
Just don't say if, man. When?
Gee, Peter, you
Peter, big money. Listen, Peter does business. You know, he's all
Exactly.
about making money. Nah, but like
I need the peas.
our plans for the future of the podcast. You know, hypothetically, if we get to like episode 100 and there's like you
10
know
followers.
a few
10
people
subscribers.
listening, you know, like what would we like to do? So obviously we'll have some guests
Sell out.
on. Yeah,
I mean,
we'll sell out.
have some guests on. Yeah, sell out. So if this is going to go on for an hour, right? I want 55 minutes of ads.
And 5 minutes of us talking about how many ads there are.
Yeah, talk about next week's ads.
5 minutes of
No.
trying to get ad companies to to come onto our podcast
Yeah.
to give us ads, give us money.
I don't know. Like, what kind of do we want to like if we were to get super famous? Obviously, sorry, when we get super famous, you know the way like I don't know podcasts like Joe Rogan, he kind of gets fucking everyone on. Like,
Yeah,
there's a
sure.
lot
Like,
of sports
man's
people
had
on his.
Robert Downey Jr. on.
Yeah, and then he gets shit like that, fucking Elon Musk.
Yeah,
And then there's people that would be kind of
Bernie
more.
Sanders.
Yeah, there's a lot of podcasts that are more, I don't know, niche, I guess, and they kind of have, I don't know, Rory McIlroy on or some shit if it's a golf podcast.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be cool if we could just fucking get anyone on.
So I want to get Ninja on.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
I want to.
No.
Ninja and who's the guy he always fights with? Nate Shot?
I don't know, man.
Tifu.
He fights with everybody. He's the most toxic person I know.
Oh.
Isn't he always fights with Tifu?
Yeah, he does
Him and
always
Tifu's
fight
was-
with
Yeah, but that
Tifu.
was on Fortnite. That was on Fortnite, though. He plays COD now. And,
Yeah, but they
Oh
still
yeah, no,
beef.
he does. He does always fight with Nate Shot. You're right.
yeah, it is Nate Shot, man. That's just the funniest stuff ever. Anyway.
Yeah. He's always
If
like,
you
"Get
don't
me
find
up,
this
get me
funny,
up."
Yeah, go watch Ninja and Nate Shot stream
Oh
together.
no,
Yeah.
I saw that. I saw like Nature was in the corner somewhere, and he was like, "Man, you're doing nothing for this game whilst
Yeah.
being dead." I was like, "Lad, it's fucking
Um,
weird."
yeah, I know. I think it'd be cool to just kind of get whoever we could to come on, you know, like just fucking hear everyone's story and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to get like more obscure people on. I feel like everybody always gets the same kind of
Yes.
set people on. There's always one guy going around doing promo, and you see him on 8 different podcasts that you watch, you know.
Yeah, true.
Mm.
So,
Uh,
so who would you guys'
like
ideal guest be?
dream
Like, if you,
guest.
yeah, your dream guest. That's a good way of putting it.
Go on, Peter, you go first.
I can go first. I can go
I
first.
don't have a dream guest. My dream guest, like as a person, would be
Me.
somebody who has very very interesting stories. You know, who's
Yeah.
lived a very interesting life, and
Yeah,
I can't think of any right now.
man.
I think
So
you have to. Yeah.
my dream guest. Well, I don't know. I have I have a few. I have a few people
Yeah.
that I'd very much like on. The one that comes to mind at the moment is I'd love to have Tom Holland on, because who
Oh,
doesn't
hell
want to
yeah.
have Spider-Man on their podcast?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
exactly. And he
Like,
seems like such a cool dude.
yeah, I think like he's probably a year or two older than us, but and I'm not saying like we'd have that in common or like we'd hit it off, you know. But I
We
think
just get along.
there's there's a small age gap, as
Yeah.
opposed to having like some fucking relic on up in this bitch. Do you know what I mean? We might actually be able to talk to him and have a nice conversation.
Yeah,
So
100%.
when Spider-Man 3 is coming out, yeah,
And
we'll
we've blown
be
up.
and yeah, we'll have blown up and we'll have him on. Yeah?
100%, 100%.
And by then we'll have like webcams and stuff and we can get
Ha,
him to
webcams.
FaceTime Robert Downey
Get it?
Jr.
Um,
Hey, web, because he's Spider-Man. I get
that
it.
was cringe as fuck. Okay, dream guest, 100%. Fucking Beetlejuice, man. I want to steal him from the Howard Stern show as like a continuous guest. I want him on every second week,
That would be
and I just want to talk
perfect.
to him. I just want to not abuse him. I feel like everything he goes on, it's always these fucking sarcastic questions, taking the piss out of him. Man, I want to sit down and let him talk. Because I feel
Yeah.
like he's a normal fucking human, and people just put him in situations where he's fucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I also think he's not the brightest.
Oh, he's not the full shilling, but
Yeah.
like he's a few sandwiches short of a fucking picnic. But I mean, like he's gonna. I think because do you watch any of the videos? The DVT3, I think it is. It's like a
Yeah, of course.
his
Yeah.
owner, his owner.
His
Jesus
owner.
Christ!
Wow. Cut that out, guys. Cut that out.
Oh my god! Leave it in.
His
Fucking who gives a
owner.
fuck? Who gives a
Jesus
fuck?
Christ.
But yeah, I just think it'd be sick to have him on. But like some of his videos, he's just the most wholesome person ever. Have you ever seen when he's reacting with his manager's son?
No,
Like he's like his manager.
haven't seen that.
He's like his manager's son's like basically like his granddad. That's what he calls himself. Dude, it is the most wholesome stuff. He cares for that kid so much. Like I've never seen
Man.
anything like it, you know. And it's just wholesome. I just
Yeah.
want him on.
Honestly, yeah, it definitely would be a perfect guest.
I think I found somebody who I really like to interview, and this is going like back to the
Gigi
past as well.
Hadid.
Addison Rae.
Hey, listen, no, it's gonna be Tony Hawk.
Could you
Really?
imagine having Tony
Yeah.
Hawk on?
Can you imagine
That'd
he
be
comes on
lit.
our fucking thing?
Yeah, and he
Man,
skateboards
I
around
would
Discord.
love to talk to him. I would love to talk to him.
Yeah, he's got a super cool life.
Yeah, he
I feel like
does.
he's one of those people that are on. He's kind of on a lot of podcasts, but
Mm.
but every time he goes on, it's a different story. You know, it's like a different kind of. Obviously, you have the same fucking stories. You know, everyone's gonna ask where you came from. You know how you did everything at the start, and then he always has like a different story to tell, like a funny story or crazy story or whatever.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an interesting individual.
Like
Yeah, I agree.
I would like to interview him or like any of the boys from like Jackass, because like their stories
Oh
will
man.
have me howling, will have me
Yeah.
rolling.
Let's get
100%.
Steve-O on here.
Yeah, he'll do
100%.
anything.
I mean,
love
I'm not gonna
Steve-O.
have him do anything. It's just-
I would.
Bring him on. Steve-O, will you eat this for me? Just hand him a rock.
I don't know. Yeah, I think they're pretty cool people to want on.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'd want any of them on. Honestly,
Ooh,
any
ooh, ooh,
guest. All right.
ooh.
You
Joey
Well,
got an
I think
Diaz.
idea?
I think Peter has
Joey
an
Diaz.
idea.
Joey
Oh yeah.
Diaz. That is
Can you
another
imagine
really good
us
one,
attempting to get along with Joey Diaz?
What
bro.
do you mean attempting?
Man, he's chalk and cheese. It's not even close. Fucking the dude does fucking has like literally since 1985 has had a kilo of cocaine running through his bloodstream.
What age is he? What age is he? Surely he's like 60, right? 70?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, I
60,
think
60,
60, I'd say.
right?
60
yeah,
something.
60
dude.
something.
This fucking 68-year-old person comes on and he's sat
Bro,
in a Discord call with a couple of 20-year-olds.
Could you imagine? But it'd be perfect. That'd be so entertaining. I'd
Yeah,
watch that.
yeah,
If
it would
somebody
be
came to
so
me and they were
funny.
like, yo, Joey Diaz
Because
was
we,
on a podcast with a whole lot of 20-year-old plebs,
yeah.
I'd be like, man,
Joey
sign me up.
Diaz
That
life
sounds
advice.
awesome. Yeah. He can give me advice
cause
on
he,
what drugs to take. Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs, kids.
Do drugs, fuck it.
Oh yeah, fuck it. Do
unless it's
drugs.
free.
Well, this is free, yeah. Honestly, if you want to experiment, like don't do hard shit. Not that I've ever
Yeah,
done
no.
anything, but
Amen.
just fucking, if it's being offered, take it.
True.
What?
Well, I mean, have you never seen that interview? There's an interview. They interviewed Bill Gates, right? Have you seen that? There was like a Sunday morning show or some shit, and she
What
asked,
the
"How did you
what?
get?" Have you never seen
I'm
this?
s-
No. She goes,
what?
No.
"No, it makes sense with the story. Just give me a second." So the woman, there's a presenter woman and a man, and the woman goes, "How did you make your money?" And he takes out a checkbook, hands her the checkbook, and goes, "Write down a number of the money that you want." And she goes, "No, no, no, no. I just want to know, like how did you get your money? How did you make it?" Like she like rephrased the question somehow anyway. And he does the same thing, takes out the check and hands it to her. And then she goes, "No, no, I don't want, please, I don't want any money. That's not what I'm asking. Like I just want to know how you made the money." And he just goes, "I made the money by not avoiding opportunities like you just did." And man, can you imagine being that woman?
Yeah.
Can you imagine
Bro.
True.
the richest man in the world? You could have wrote down, well, at the time, you could have wrote down anything, right? And he would have been like, "Yeah, no bother. That's fucking like 50 cent, bro. No matter what it was. Even if he wrote down his net worth, I'd say he'd probably be like, grand, I'll make it back tomorrow." Right? And she was like, "Nah, man, you're grand. I want
Yeah,
to do my job."
that's like an easy 100 million right there.
Yeah, even if you
Bro,
wrote
set
down
for
fucking
life.
10 quid, you're still making money.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Could you imagine like I got a tenner off Bill Gates?
You
I'd
just keep
frame
it.
it.
You just
Yeah.
keep the check. Yeah, I wouldn't even fucking use it.
Bill Gates gave me a
Sure.
tenner.
I'm definitely asking for more than 10. I'm going for at least
No, I
100
know.
grand.
That's not what I'm
I
saying.
know,
I'm
I know, I know, I know, no, I know. I'm just saying, like, I don't think you could ask for like
Greedy
a million
bastard.
and then expect him to give it to you. I mean,
100% he would have.
100k,
No, because he's got
100k,
big
he would
balls.
have been
That
like,
man has big balls. He would have been like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
no
man.
bother."
Oh, 100%.
Wait, is Bill Gates dead?
fair.
No.
No.
Who's the one that wears the turtlenecks?
Steve Jobs.
Steve
Is he dead?
Jobs.
Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
Oh yeah, they made a movie about him, right?
Yeah, Michael
yeah.
Yeah,
Fassbender.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
So yeah, let's get Bill Gates on here, and then we'll ask him
Oh
that
yeah,
very same exact question. And there we go.
extortion. That'd be so
Yeah,
funny.
so let's extort Bill Gates.
Yeah, man.
That's our end
That's
goal.
what we'll title our podcast.
Yeah,
Let's extort.
the first one.
Oh,
Um,
man.
fuck man.
So yeah, speaking of making money off the podcast, hypothetically, if at some stage somebody reached out and was like, you know, put our ad on your podcast, just have like a mid-roll, just
Yeah.
5 minutes, we'll give you the script. What company would you guys like?
Well, can I ask first? Because I think not an easier question. I don't know. Another question is: at like starting off, would you take anyone? Is there anyone that you wouldn't go with? Do you know what I mean?
Within reason. I wouldn't take like a scam,
Um,
if you get me. If
yeah.
it's
No,
like
yeah,
here,
100%, obviously.
But wait, okay. So
like
this is where
like
my
CS:GO, like CS roulette or some stupid shit like that, I wouldn't take that.
I mean, it would
But
have
if
to
if
depend.
they're
It'd have to
giving you
depend.
like
Yeah, fuck
a
Peter, by the
hundred
way.
quid a thing,
No, again, not anything that would. If it was legit, like there's some sites like that are kind of not legit, or not
like
legit,
if a
but
legit
basically they're not
scam came to
scams.
you
Oh no, then no, 100% no. If I knew it was a scam, no,
Yeah, no.
But you're paying your peas, like,
no.
I
even
mean,
if nobody's listening.
I
Oh, I
mean,
mean,
what I'm
if
saying.
nobody is
It
listening,
would
but
have
no one's gonna come.
yeah.
and yeah, nobody's gonna pay to put to have us advertise something that like nobody really listens to.
Yeah,
But
100%.
it's
Yeah.
gonna depend on the size. Like let's say like
In
we're
this
averaging
hypothetical
like
situation, we have an
yeah.
audience, like.
Yeah.
Okay, we have an audience that we have to be very stringent on like who we accept and who we
Oh
don't
yeah,
because we
100%.
already have. If you have an audience, we're gonna be making some sort of money already, and then the
Yeah.
ads are gonna be like extra stuff. So we have to be like we're gonna need like the faith of our like of our audience to know that if we push something, we actually do like you know.
Oh, you
It's
would
not like
have to believe in it.
yeah, not like we have to believe in it or whatever. It's just like we're not pushing you something that like could hurt you. At the
Oh, okay,
very
yeah,
least,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
safe, you know.
But
So
I
we
mean,
have
like
that
in a sense of,
confidence.
let's say fucking Colgate comes at us and they're like, "Yeah, man, here's some dishwasher tablets. Can you put these in your podcast?" Would you be like, "Yeah, sure,
Toothpaste,
it's
bro.
money."
Yeah,
Like
why
that has
not?
nothing to do with anything that we've ever talked about. But
Yeah.
would you
Why
still
not?
be like?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
That's what I'm just
100%.
saying.
And
Yeah, I'm saying, would you? Yeah,
yeah,
because like there's a lot of people like I don't know. I guess it's more YouTubers that would get sponsored, get their videos sponsored. Like
hmm
Raid
they would only
Legends.
they would only take a thing that they actually like, in that sort of sense, or they would use themselves. So
I
like,
mean that in their situation, they're already making like a lot of money already, like from
yeah,
YouTube anyway. Like they're already comfortable, so they don't really need the money from ads. So
yeah,
like
fair enough.
they
Yeah,
can
true.
be even more stringent.
They can be picky. Yeah,
Yeah, so if we had a large audience like per se, and like we didn't really need the ad money,
yeah. The
but
ads,
like
the ads are
whatever,
extra.
yeah, then of course
Mm.
then we were like if somebody comes up from like dishwashing tablets, like why the fuck would we take it?
hmm
No one gives a fuck. But like if it's something like about gaming or like something to do like in like NordVPN or some shit like that, like
Yeah.
some whatever, then we'd accept it because that directly influences our like audience and that.
You know, what's one of the coolest ones? You fucking Dollar Shave Club, right? They're
Yeah.
True.
everywhere, right?
hmm
And I am always like, does anyone actually buy like this? Because
Yeah.
it's such a strange thing. Like, it seems like really good value. Like, I mean, $1 for a fucking razor or
Shave
whatever.
your
Like, that's
balls.
better than like I go down the shops and what you have to pay fucking 30 quid for a packet of razors. Like, it's
Yeah.
wank.
Yeah, true. But I
And
still don't know anybody that does it. But I think it's more of an
I still,
American thing.
yeah, it is true. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I'd like them. They'd be mine.
Dollar
Beetlejuice and
Shave
Dollar
Club.
Shave Club.
That what an expert combination. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of anything that I think would be like the dream one. Like
Yeah, there's not a lot.
a hypothetical dream one would be one that relates to what you're talking about or relates to the people, excuse me, in the
Yeah.
podcast.
Hmm.
Like what Peter said, not dishwasher tablets, something that, doesn't matter at all, really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Something
uh,
that
uh,
actually makes
Yeah.
sense.
this conversation is completely nullifying the possibility of getting dishwasher tablets to sponsor us, by the way.
Yeah, we're good. Fuck it. Colgate were looking at us and they're like, "Fuck, man, I really wanted to give these kids
Yeah.
a chance."
Dollar Shave Club, though, they're looking at us like,
Yeah, they're like, "Ooh,
yeah.
this guy Adam, man, let's get him Beetlejuice."
But yeah, like any kind of a movies, like
Yeah.
Avengers were doing like sponsored streams and
Mm.
things when they were coming out, man.
Mm.
I do a sponsored Avengers stream. Get the cast of Avengers up in this bitch, bro. I'll like I'll have an 8-hour sponsored movie stream. Do you know what I mean?
You don't even
That'd be
record it.
perfect. We
You're
get
just in a room.
yeah, we get paid. We get to meet hella cool people. Well, hopefully they're cool. I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully.
We'll talk about the movie. I'll probably get to see it in advance, bro. Fly me out to LA. Make me the president of Universal Studios.
Oh
Do you
yeah,
know
of
what I
course.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, there's no
Take
downside
full creative control and ruin the whole movie.
of the movie, yeah.
You see, that's something I always thought about in terms of like if I was ever allowed to go see a movie in advance or whatever. I don't have that filter to not spoil it.
Well,
Unlike
you're
other
just
That's
people,
retarded, bro.
I've
Don't
you're
mind
heard
a
him.
fucking
Shh. Don't mind
degenerate.
him. I'm cutting that out.
because it's just if I see something I really enjoy, I feel the need like I have to talk about this. You
No,
know,
Yeah,
no,
if I feel passionate about
not if
something,
it's in a sense of spoiling. Like I remember I went to go
Oh.
see. What did I go see? It probably was one of the Avengers.
Mhm.
And
Or like
I think
Spider-Man or
I think it
something.
was Michael or Esty hadn't gone yet. They're my friends
Mhm.
from school. They hadn't seen it yet, and I went to go see it with like Ryan or another friend from school.
It's not me you went to
School.
see Spider-Man with.
Maybe it was you, yeah.
It was because we went
Either
at
way,
the 12 o'clock.
yeah, it was someone. And I went into school the next day, and just kept my mouth shut. You know, obviously I messed around, and I was like, you know, pulling the piss with Esty because he's kind of he's a big into comics and films and stuff. So I was messing with him, but I would never ever give him a spoiler
Oh yeah,
Okay,
about
100%.
anything that happened.
let me rephrase what I mean by that. All right, it's not in terms of like I would intentionally go and spoil it to people I know who haven't seen it. It's like let's say I'm seeing it with you lot, and we obviously together we've gone to see it in advance. As soon
Mm.
as we like record the next thing, I'd want to talk about it
Oh
with you
yeah,
guys,
yeah.
and forget that like there's others who haven't seen it. If that makes sense.
Well, it would depend when it would be coming out. Like
Oh
Yeah, like
if
if
we
we were
released a
allowed to
podcast,
talk about it,
yeah,
like under contract, do you know what I mean? Like if we had to sign a non-disclosure agreement to
Oh well, then
not
I'm
talk
keeping
about
my mouth
something.
shut.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
well,
sue.
yeah.
that's what I mean. Like
But I
we
think
can
he
talk
means
about whatever in the context of the podcast if we have all seen it, and we can put a spoiler warning. Like,
yeah,
do you know what I mean?
exactly, yeah.
Hmm.
We can just say just skip ahead
Yeah,
or
I'd
whatever
like put it
if
in
you
the
don't want to hear
description or
this.
something.
You know, I don't think there's an issue with that if we've all seen it, but I just mean in the sense of just spoiling in the real world, not necessarily on this, you know?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like
Yeah,
I get annoyed. I know this is probably a bit too far, but I get annoyed if someone tells me whether they fucking thought it was a good or a bad movie. Like, because if I go in with that expectation, like
Mm.
I thought it was gonna ruin it, but you know, Joker, everyone was like, "Wow, that was a fucking incredible movie," and I was like, I was pissed off because I was like, this isn't gonna fucking live up to the shitty,
The hype.
like the good standards, and it did. Like, and I was
Mhm.
happy about that. But there's other movies where I've gone and I was like, man, holy fuck, that was like, you know, people say like, oh, it was fucking class, it was the best movie I've ever seen, and I go in, and I'm like, yeah, it was all right, you know what I mean? Like, it was
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
just,
Man,
I don't know.
I didn't even think about that. I'm always telling people, I'm like, man, yeah, I went to see this movie the other day. It was really good. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah, well, it
always
depends on
say
the
that.
movie. Like, if I don't have
You
any, if I'm not looking forward, like if someone said like, and there's not many movies that I look forward to other than like superhero shit. Difficulties, but we'll continue. I don't even know what the fuck we were talking about. It was movies and shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying,
You
yeah,
talk.
I don't look forward to many movies, but like it's only when them movies come around that I'd be like pissed off if someone spoiled it. Like if someone fucking spoiled, oh, I don't fucking know what's that
Like
the new
Endgame.
Chris Hemsworth movie. I mean, I'm like it's just a fucking war movie. Like sure, it might be good or bad, like or like, you
Okay,
know, it might be
so
incredible or
I
shit,
was
but I mean, I don't give a fuck what happens at the end, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I
was
get you.
literally just about to talk about that movie, and it's like, okay, I watched it last night after John said like it was good.
Mhm.
It's actually really. I'm gonna do what you hate. I don't care. It's a really good movie.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, I
But
don't care because I wasn't looking forward to the movie. I didn't know it was coming out. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't
know what
bother
you
me.
mean. And
Yeah.
it's not a very story-driven movie
Yeah, that's
anyway.
the
It's
thing. I
not
don't
like you're
care
having
about
a
what
lot
happens.
spoiled, if you get me.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
there
it's
was
just
one.
like I don't want like okay, I won't say anything really because there might actually be somebody listening that would get angry, but
yeah.
I
I mean,
recommend you go see
spoiler.
that
Like
movie.
we're talking about the movie. You can dip right now and go watch the movie. Right? Like it's out. Like it's
All
on
right,
Netflix. You got
pause
we got
the
nothing better to do here. Like
pause the podcast and go watch the movie and then come back. We're going to talk
Yeah,
about
that's
it.
a good idea.
yeah, but there's one scene in it that is fucking incredible.
Is it the
Is
one
it
with the
In
camera?
the car
The
chase?
camera
yeah,
follows him into the car. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen it on fucking TikTok or some
bro,
gay shit. Yeah, I've
that
seen it. It was
was
so good. Yeah.
incredible.
It was like
That was
1917.
incredible.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
really 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 good. Do you know Peter do you know the guy in it G?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he died like pretty early on. But he's actually the director of the movie.
Ah, that's
Oh,
sick.
seriously?
So he's the
Oh,
stunt coordinator for the majority of the Marvel movies and a whole lot of
yeah,
other like really big movies with a lot of stunts and things. So he's like a
yeah,
really really good stunt director. He's like or stunt coordinator. He's like up there,
yeah.
you know. And this is like his first directorial movie, I guess. Which
That's
makes
really
sense. There's a
cool.
lot of stunts in it. There's a lot
I
of
thought Russo
fighting.
brothers did that one.
Yeah, they like produced it or
Oh,
like
okay,
wrote
okay.
it or something, but
Yeah, I
he
knew they were
directed it.
involved. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they produced it and wrote it. But
I mean,
yeah,
for
lots of
for his
stunts and
first
shit, lots of
job, I
cool
think it
camera
was good.
angles. Yeah, really, really good film. Um, what did you think of the ending?
You see, the ending was weird in terms of like I liked it, but I didn't. A lot of movies do this thing where like they leave the door open for speculation, and to be fair, it's kind of a good marketing ploy because it gets you talking about it longer, like past the movie's like prime, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
But the end is like, Adam, do you mind if I don't
No,
want to
no, go
spoil
for it. I
it.
don't give a fuck. Yeah, yeah,
Are you sure? Okay.
yeah.
Well, Chris is on the bridge and he gets shot in the neck. I don't give a fuck about Kyle. He gets shot in the neck.
I'm not gonna watch it.
Sure,
I'm
he's a
not gonna lie
pussy.
to
It
you.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, suck it up, bitch. He gets shot in the
Suck
neck
you.
on a bridge. Right, don't be gay. Um,
Like
Well,
the end something.
not that there's
The end
anything wrong with that.
Yeah, no. Peter's actually gay, so it doesn't matter, you know.
Any potential sponsors have just left.
Yeah, so he gets shot in the neck on the bridge and he falls into the water and whatever. And then it shows the kid he was protecting going into a pool, and then the kid does a similar thing that Chris did in the past, where he just jumps like he pencil dives into a pool and just kind of just stays underneath the water
Yeah.
for a good bit, and then comes back up. So in the ending, the kid comes back up, but there's a man in like in the background, kind of like blurred in a way, waiting on him. So
Oh,
then
okay. So
it
it's like, is
leaves
that Chris?
is that Chris? Is it not?
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
I don't want to
Or
have
is
to
it
see.
the
I'm not.
people that were trying to get him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and or is of course funny. Like the kid's now in America because it's an Indian kid. Now he's in America. Of course he's gonna be staying with a foster family, or like is either gonna be staying with a foster family or he's gonna be staying with Chris. And
Yeah.
it looks like clothes Chris would be wearing. So you're sitting there like, oh, is it Chris? Is it not? I don't want
Yeah.
to have that speculation just
No,
depending
I
on what
mean,
the fuck happened in the movie.
I don't mind that. I think that's fair for you to just go, yeah, that's him. Do you know what I mean? Like that's
Mm.
you can take it from
Yeah,
that. And there
like
is that.
oh,
What
he
I'm saying, you
survived
could have.
the bullet hole through his neck and
Yeah,
also
like I
falling
kind
into
of
the
Yeah,
river
but like
dodge, but
because he's a badass.
I mean, this is
I don't mind that. I wouldn't have an issue with that. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I would to be fair. I rather he died because then it shows like a massive case of like plot armor, and I don't like it. And I feel like Game of Thrones properly spoiled me in terms of like seeing characters just live through shit, and I'm like,
Mm.
I don't know if I feel like that's probably just me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't bother me. It didn't take away from the movie at all. Like it just added an extra layer of, oh, I wonder is
Is
that
that him?
him, you
Yeah.
know? And whether it is or not, the movie in my mind, like it's either it's two one of two outcomes, okay? It's somebody who like adopted him or fostered him or like caring for him, uh,
Yeah.
just watching over him as he's swimming and like doing his thing, you know? Or it's Chris who stayed with him because throughout the movie he like grew
Cared
closer
for him.
to him and
Yeah.
started to care for him and stuff. And Chris
Mhm.
survived and now he's, you know,
Yeah.
visiting
So
him
either
or
way, it's
whatever.
kind of it's almost a happy ending. Like you can
Yeah,
still
it's a
have that thing
happy
of, oh,
ending
the
either
kid
way.
survived.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's why it doesn't really change the movie
Yeah. It's not
in
gonna
my
change
mind.
much because they're not gonna fucking necessarily make another one following on from
I
that.
I
You
Yeah.
know.
I, com- I completely agree in that. Like I know that I'm in the minority on this because it's not even just the movie. Like the movie was I said before, the movie is fucking incredible.
Mm.
It's just I hate I. And I know it's just me on this because like everybody else I spoke to about it is like, Peter, what the fuck you talking? But it's like I hate when movies have a cliffhanger and there isn't a chance of there being a part two of the movie. Like
Yeah.
if the Avengers has a cliffhanger, I know for a fact
It's
that
gonna be
that
end. Yeah.
loose end is going to be tied up. You know.
Yeah.
Mm.
But with this movie,
Oh,
it's
I
like,
love
okay,
cliffhangers though.
okay, sure, man.
Yeah, Carl, you're an intern. Speak when you're spoken to.
But cliffhangers are class. Like do you know like
Give me an example.
Gavin and Stacey? Have you watched that?
All right, but that's not that
No.
doesn't like there's a big difference between this movie and Gavin and Stacey.
Oh, okay.
He just steps down.
I'll go back to my corner.
No, I know what you mean. Like cliffhangers are
Well, like,
good and they leave you
well,
guessing and they leave some of it to the imagination, you know.
or you know,
Yeah.
was there one in Parasite,
I didn't
or
watch it.
Fuck, was there? Who went to
Okay.
go see Parasite?
there was?
You, Peter?
Remember, your man went missing, and then it just like stopped, or
No, it didn't.
no, your man went in the basement, and then the new family or the new family moved into the house, but your man was still in the basement.
Yeah, and then your man
Yeah.
found out that he was
And
in
then
the
it just
basement,
stopped.
and he grew up and bought the house.
Oh yeah, I'm
No,
sorry, I have
no, I
no
don't.
idea now.
I think that was just like
That was like the
him.
plan, wasn't it?
Yeah, then pretty sure that was just the plan of him like
Yeah, so you
trying to.
don't actually know if that happened or not. But I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
And
you
that's
see,
the
like
cliffhanger.
that's the thing. That's the thing that annoys me in the terms of like, even if there's like, the cliffhangers in a movie, I just want to know the answer. Like I'm sick. I don't want to sit
My
there
God,
thinking
my
about
man
being
says
like,
no
did it happen?
patience, bro.
Did it not? I really don't. I just want to know what happens. Like even if you leave the cliffhanger hanger in a movie, but then like the director after like a while comes out and says, "This is what actually happens." I'm like, okay, cool. Now I know the full story. It's like somebody constantly giving you 99% of a story and then leaving out that 1% and being like, figure it out. Like, bitch, it's your job to tell me the whole story. I don't want to. I don't want to sit here being like, oh, try and put jigsaw pieces together. Tell me the story, or don't tell me at all. I don't want to sit here. Like it pisses me off beyond belief.
Yeah.
I have another question for you specifically, Peter, because you seem very
Okay.
passionate about this. How do you feel when it's
Mm.
the opposite way around? When you get the full story and it's completed and that's it, and then there's more comes out, like there's a sequel that people didn't want. Oh
I
well,
don't know.
not didn't want, but it
Didn't
wasn't
need.
exactly
Didn't
called for.
expect her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm always okay. It's weird because I don't really mind that because as if they give me 100% of a story or whatever, like and every all loose ends are tied up wherever, I'm like, okay, cool. The second movie is obviously going to be a lot harder because I'm like, if you tied up 100% of the story in this, then what are you drawing from? So then it inevitably falls back to them just kind of like making shit up or being like, oh, turns out he didn't die or whatever. And then you're like, okay, what the fuck? Even though he was shot like 50 times, somehow he didn't die. It always falls like that. I
yeah,
don't mind a movie having a cliffhanger if I know there's going to be a second part of the movie because now I know that the story isn't 100% done. So I know like they probably gave me
Yeah.
50% of the story and the other 50 is coming out later. I don't mind waiting. It's not. I don't mind that. It's when you give what I know for 100% that this is going to be a standalone movie and it's pretty much the entire movie, but you don't give me the ending. That's what I don't like. But then if you give me 100% of a movie and tell me the whole story, and then you make another movie after that, I'm gonna give the second movie a chance. But it's not gonna start. It's never gonna start off well because where are they drawing from?
yeah,
You know?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. It's like and I I dislike a lot of the time when movies kind of reintroduce bad enemies and shit like that, and it does it. It's
The
movies
Fast and
and TV shows,
Furious.
I guess. Like
Star
yeah,
Wars.
Star Wars. That's Emperor Palpatine in the Star Wars is honestly one of the worst things I've ever fucking seen in my life. It's honestly
Oh,
just like please make a new fucking because the Star Wars universe is so fucking cool. Like was in the sense of like every like the way they like if you look at the Mandalorian, I know has anyone seen it or did me,
Yeah, yeah, I've
Peter?
seen it.
I haven't
You've
seen it.
seen
I
it?
haven't seen it.
That looks incredible.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the people, the different aliens and stuff like that. Like
Oh,
I know
100%.
there's some bits of CGI where it's like, ooh, but like it looks insane, and that's a perfect Star Wars thing because it has nothing to do with anything. Like sure, you have that
Mm.
thing of the the First Order coming up. Is it the First Order coming up? But it's not like a
Yeah, but it's set 25 years before the
exactly
First
yeah. It
Order
has
even
like
starts.
sure the people are stormtroopers or whatever are still there, but that's not really a main part in a sense of that's not it's more just about fucking your man Mando and the baby like and I don't know. I think that's like a perfect same with
And
I don't know.
there is throwbacks. Like, don't get me wrong, it's in the
Yeah,
Star
of
Wars
course.
universe. Like it's not really a spoiler, but at one stage he's on Tatooine and like things
Yeah.
like that.
Mm.
And like
Mm.
there's then cinematic throwbacks as well. Like one of the like space explosions was done old school style, like from the
Yeah, yeah,
original Star Wars
yeah.
movies, things like that. So it's not like it is very much a part of the Star Wars universe, and you're watching it, and you're like, this
Yeah,
is
but it's
very
new.
Star
It's
Wars.
fresh.
But exactly, it's new.
Yeah.
It feels good to watch. Do you get me?
Hmm.
Because I'm pretty sure, like, I think Palpatine now has been in more movies than any other character in the franchise. I genuinely do. Like,
Yeah.
is that 6 movies that Palpatine is
Yeah.
in now, or 7?
And he's just not an interesting
No.
villain. I don't like he was in the first one where you're like, oh fuck, that's that guy from the from the Senate or whatever, and you go that's kind of a little twist, even though it's not mental, but like it's kind of a cool thing. Then end it there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, kill him off,
it's such
man.
a
Have
ridiculous.
Darth Vader throw him off the thing and just have him be dead. Like,
Yeah, or you could still have Rey as a Palpatine and have them powers, but then she's like good, like she can
yeah,
come from there, but he doesn't have to be involved. Do you know what I mean? In a sense of
the
maybe he could be in her head, something like that. And I know that's
yeah.
kind of like
Like they
thing.
should have had the same thing but opposite. Like, okay, the whole thing behind Star Wars is the new ones is Ray and not yeah Ray and
Yeah,
Kylo
Kylo
Ren
and Ren. Yeah.
are like along a parallel path, if you get
Hmm.
me. Yeah. So then when it turned out that she was a Palpatine, if they like this is how I know the directors didn't know that she was a Palpatine like when they started making this trilogy. If she was a Palpatine, she would have been good battling with bad, and Kylo, the same way Kylo Ren was bad battling with
Battling with
good.
good.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Hmm.
But and then in the end, the good wins and converts Kylo Ren over. The same way it did, but they didn't have the like. She was just such a one-dimensional character. Kylo
100%.
Ren was way more of an interesting of a character,
Yeah, you can
and
see
but
the
they
actual
should have
battle going
had
through.
yeah, they should have had, and he keep the plot twist, keep the Palpatine plot twist until the end, and then have it click with people right at the end. That's why she was the way she was.
Yeah, why she was kind of like, like it was kind of cool the way he was a bad guy, and he was, his mind was fighting to be good,
Yeah,
and she was a good guy, and her mind was fighting to be bad, and that's because of their background,
yeah, and
because he
because of
comes
their
from like the
heritage.
light, yeah, like
Yeah,
he comes from like the light side of Leia and Solo, and then she comes from Palpatine, but she's been raised right by somehow Palpatine's fucking son, which makes no or son or daughter, which doesn't make any sense, but whatever.
yeah.
they never
Well,
that's the thing, they never even went into that.
Yeah,
They
it's
never even went
ridiculous.
into that.
You're
They
telling
just
me
said
that
she was just
the
abandoned.
Emperor's son or daughter was just a good guy or a good girl
yeah, he
that,
was just
that
chilling.
raised their thing right, or they didn't have any powers and shit like that,
Yeah,
which is kind of strange. But
just any more
anyway,
My
backstory. Like maybe they didn't
my
even know that they were Palpatine's
yeah,
son or daughter
true.
or
my
whatever.
my
Yeah,
biggest gripe with the whole like trilogy, the new trilogy thing, is like once you know how big like the whole Star Wars universe thing, like in like for example the Mandalorians, like there's other stories you can talk about instead of just rehashing the original three
yeah.
and then pretty much just selling us the same product and being like,
Hmm.
hey, listen, we tried. Like it's the same. It's the same shit with like Spider-Man went through with the new Spider-Mans. They don't have an origin. There's no origin story with the Tom Holland Spider-Man
Yeah,
because we've seen it so many. They learned
Yeah,
that we've seen the shit so many fucking times. We don't need the origin story. Just tell a new story, which they did, and it's flourishing.
yeah,
There's a
yeah, I was
reason
so
why
happy they brought in
everybody
new villains.
there's a reason everybody fucking hated the new Star Wars because it's garbage. It's wank. It's the same shit, but just not as interesting because
Yeah,
it's not as
literally,
interesting
nothing.
seeing
Just
it the
talking to the
second
lads.
time.
it's a
No,
carbon
you're
copy,
alright.
and they've just CGI'd different faces in. You know what I mean? Like
The
Yeah,
VR, yeah, it's
it's
really
all
good.
just a throwback. Like literally, it's they fucking
they're just lazy.
they're still in the fucking Millennium Falcon. Chewie doesn't die, which annoyed me. Not because I want him to die, great character or whatever. Kill off every single original character, kill them all, and then leave it with just the new ones. If they wanted, if they wanted to do it right. But anyway, whatever. And then they go to the main battle, and of course, I know it's kind of like a not a joke or whatever, but like
Mm,
a trend in all the things where they have this one weakness, like the hole in
mm.
the thing. But I was so happy with was that Rogue One or whatever? They explained why they had the
The vent.
the one
The how
weakness, wasn't it?
yeah
Like
for
her
the Death
father.
Star.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That
Yeah,
I thought that was fucking sick, man. I was because that was one of
and
the main
Rogue
questions
One.
after watching um the originals or whatever. I was like,
Yeah,
why the fuck would they have a hole directly on the outside going into the fucking thing that blows everything up? And then you find out that the guy who designed it put it there on purpose. That's super fucking cool. But they like
mm.
then you have this dumb cunt Palpatine fucking going, can I say cunt?
yeah,
They have this guy going, oh yeah, boys, let's just whack a fucking um what do they call satellite thing controlling everything in the open there on the floor. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Like
it just made no sense. I don't know. I know. I just didn't.
how could you bring back one of the most cunning uh villains in the Star Wars universe and have him be completely stupid, in not think
Yeah.
of like it, they because they fucked up the first time with the whole Dead Star situation, so they had to make another movie explaining this. Explain to me about that. Like, I want to see this. Who the
Mm.
fuck designed? And it's so stupid to think like he's had so many years building ships that are equivalent to fucking Death Stars, and one thing blows up and they can't fly up anymore. Like, big man, listen, there's thousands of them. Surely a good few hundred can make it up. Like,
Man, the
okay,
planet was windy.
a few will have to die. Whoop-de-doo. But you have 100
Bruh, it's
Dead
like
Stars.
dominoes.
Listen. If there's 1,000 and 900 don't make it, you still have 100 Dead Stars.
Yeah, planet
Yo,
destroyers. Yeah. Fuck me.
like these people, man. You can. It was clear to see they didn't sit down and structure the entire movie before they started filming.
Yeah.
They just were like, okay, we're going to do this, and hope it all links together because nothing linked. The first movie was them talking about how our parents weren't shit and how Kylo needed to leave the fucking the vision of becoming another Darth Vader behind by destroying the fucking helmet. And then the next movie, let's go back on all of that. We make our parents the most important people in the world, fucking Palpatines, and we will dedicate entire like scene of the movie to Kylo Ren having his helmet rebuilt. Like, oh,
Well, I see. I thought now I don't know because John said this before as well, right? I think, or maybe it was Peter a while ago. Um, I thought like that was. I think the reason they made him like super bad again, because at the end of the other one, he's kind of like you can definitely see he's starting to come when when they're fighting together when they
Yeah.
kill whatever fucking Shmuel or whatever the fuck his name is.
Snoke.
Snoke.
Yeah. Shout out to
You
Andy
can see
Serkis, by the way.
he's
Absolute
nearly
brilliant
there.
actor.
He's nearly on the light side, and then he comes back. But I think that thing of the Emperor coming back that would change. That would change him in a sense of okay, no, I have to still believe in the dark side. And
Mm.
I wish they kind of made him more bad because even when he heard this, he heard the Emperor. He was like, I can just use the Emperor to get the power that I need, and then kill him, and then I'll be with Rey
Yeah.
forever because I don't know, he wants to fuck her. But
True.
but I thought it would have been cool if he actually
Kinda
just went
incest,
back
though.
to like the not the old way he was, but like just
Mm.
fucking another bad guy. But I don't know. It's just weird.
The writing for Rey and Kylo Ren was so weird to me because they
Mm.
came off more of like siblings that didn't get along
Yeah, 100%.
instead of like uh, love interests. Like I felt more like I got a sense of that more of a love interest between her and John Boyega's
Yeah,
character,
Finn. Yeah,
Finn. I thought they were going to be together. They
hundred
seemed
percent.
more like because they had better chemistry, everything was better, and then like
Yeah,
she gets into an argument occasion like once every 20 minutes she gets into an argument with Kylo Ren over like something, and you're expecting to believe there's chemistry there.
just
Get the
sexual
fuck out
tension,
of
man.
here.
You're
But
still
it's
holding on.
but do you remember?
Man,
No,
shut
I
the
could be
fuck
wrong. Maybe they tie this up. Do you remember they were falling into the pit in the quicksand?
Mhm.
Finn goes, "I need to tell you something."
Yeah.
Was that him being like, "Oh, I fucking love you" or some shit?
I don't
Nah, I
know.
don't think so. Cause that
But
was
like,
in the third film, wasn't it?
what would he have known about? Yeah, it was in the newest one. What would he have known about fucking like he was hardly like, "Oh yeah, you're a Palpatine," like, cause he didn't know that at that point. I don't think he did
Yeah.
anyway. I could be wrong. But
I wonder was he like
mom gay.
yeah, he's like bruh, I'm actually
Like,
white.
bruh.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. Let me look it up.
That was annoying. That's what fucking that was the thing that pissed me off about the movie because I was like, oh, not because when he said that, I was like, oh fuck yeah, they're gonna, they're gonna
Yeah.
be an item instead of the weird fucking awkward tension between.
Man, that's so fucking stupid. Apparently,
Uh,
what he wanted to tell her was that he can feel the force as well.
I mean, that was yeah. That's another thing that annoyed me. Why the hell isn't he a Jedi, bro? He would be so fucking cool as a Jedi.
Yeah.
It-
Well,
but that-
apparently
And
but
you
this
can.
he
I
is.
think
that's
the
Well, not a
point is
Jedi.
that's
but-
another thing that was another thing that like frustrated me even more was that I felt that his storyline was so much more interesting than
yeah,
anything else that was going on.
100%.
If you had just told me the movie was going to be about a stormtrooper who's defected and is trying to like trying to see his mate to a Jedi that he had to kill, dealing with that shit like and he turns like the fucking Punisher, going back and killing like that would have been so much more interesting than just rehashing the story.
Yeah. To be honest, I just want like a John Wick Star Wars where there's just one really powerful dude just like killing all the bad guys.
I
Could you
mean, in the
imagine? And
comics,
it's just all
that's
like
Luke.
Yeah, and it's also like Darth Vader, like all the cool shit that Darth Vader has done, like in the
Mm.
comics and like between the movies and shit, you know.
But they don't pick the good storylines to make movies about.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of shit. It's a it's
And
not a
ever since
franchise that
watching,
I was like hugely into growing up or anything,
yeah,
and now watching it, it's just kind of like, you know, oh yeah, it's cool. Like I'll keep up with it, and I'll go to the cinema to watch it, but you know, I'm not too pushed about it. Like it's not like Lord of the Rings to me is the one that I grew
mm,
up with, and I
Mm.
loved it, and it was,
same.
you know, really really good, and that'll always be
Did you ever
better
play
for
the
me.
game?
Hmm.
Yeah, obviously the fucking online
Did you?
was sick.
I never played the
Which game?
online,
Oh
but
man,
PS2,
it's
man,
unreal.
that shit hit different.
Do we want to keep going with movies, or should we change it up? The first one.
True. I'm gonna put Star
You want me
Wars
to
in the
do
title.
Oh, we've
current
just
events?
complained.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's a good topic to complain about because
All
it's
right.
fucking garbage.
We can talk about the Rona and
Stupid people are.
how stupid people are. Yeah. Well, we
It's
can
not
talk
Did
about
you,
real
how
now.
stupid people
Big man?
are.
Did you see how Trump just said to inject fucking
Yeah, man. Just
Bleach,
just get your
bleach?
just get
man,
your syringe there and you know put
genius.
some dish soap into it.
I
Stop.
mean,
And
Don't
I
piss
heard
to
it
be
off
Oh,
the
only
fair,
guy.
works if you inject
to
it
be
into your
fair,
dick too.
boys, but boys. To be fair, if you die, you can't spread it.
True.
It's
that's what happened with the
So,
plague.
it's called
But
There's no
it's
yeah,
fucked.
vaccine for
Like,
the
basically
plague. That's gone.
yeah, I feel like people don't
killed a
actually
third of
understand how
Europe.
bad it is.
Yeah,
Obviously,
and
and it's because we're here. Do you know what I mean? Like,
mm,
like not, it's not that bad here. Like, how many people died?
I don't know, like
300.
it's not a good here, but it's like
No, no, I'm not saying it's not good, but I mean, if you looked in America, like I
in
was watching,
comparison, it's better.
yeah, I was watching something. Do you remember that thing we were watching the other day, Carl? I was watching like it was on the news or on a documentary about. Dude, they have mass
Mhm.
graves for the bodies in America.
yeah.
Mass
oh yeah,
graves.
that was on Vice.
Like it's insane. Like absolutely
And
crazy.
They're
Because they just
ferrying
don't
them
have
out
enough
to
room
like
to
some
bury them.
island in New
Like
York,
it's insane.
and they're burying them
mm,
at a later date when
Yeah. Oh, mental. People can't go to
like
funerals.
literally just
Yeah.
wooden boxes marked like ID numbers,
Yeah.
basically.
It's
They're just throwing
absolutely
them all
mental.
together.
and yeah, you see the fucking protesters being like, "My body,
Bro,
my
Oh
they
my
are
choice." Blah blah blah.
god.
honestly the worst
The
My
people. If you're
stupidest
one of
and
people
them
ever.
people, I don't want you watching this podcast. If you protest to be
and
let out of lockdown, I don't care if you're the first viewer. I want you to block
Unless you
this
want to come
channel.
on.
Yeah,
Unless you
actually,
comment
yeah.
first, then
Come
you get to
on,
come on.
come on, and tell us all about how retarded you are. Right? I shouldn't say that word,
you can't say
but
that.
all about how I'm gonna bleep that word. All about how stupid you
Capital
are.
E colon.
Capital E colon. Yeah. That's two
Boys,
bleeps in this episode so far, and I can't even remember the first
I
one.
Well, I mean, I said where we work about 8 times. You
Oh
can
yeah,
have a
true.
couple going there.
we what was it? I saw this thing on Twitter and it was Michael Rappaport. I think it did. He posted something
I
where
love
it was
him.
a screenshot of the chick on the protest thing on
Mm.
the sign, being like, "My body, my choice," to be allowed let out during the coronavirus thing. And he was like, "You know what? Fair enough. If you want to do that, you can, but it should be the hospital's decision to treat you or not. If you say you got it because you were like not adhering to guidelines and you
Yeah,
wouldn't spread it, well
you
then
shouldn't
yeah,
get
you're on
treated.
your own. You beat
Yeah,
Yeah,
that shit
yeah.
yourself." Because then there's no point wasting resources. An absolute complete morons who decided like, fuck it.
yeah,
I'm the authority on this. I'm not fucking scientist who spent decades learning about this shit.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like the people that do that would be the first people that like they'd probably get sick, right? And they're like, oh, this will prove that it's, not a big deal. But then if it gets worse and they think they might die, they'd be the first people to like be in and demanded to be treated first and
100%. Yeah.
all this
And I
kind of
think it's
shit.
one of those things of like at the start, right? Not at the start necessarily, but or even right now. You know, it's not they say it's not really affecting young people and it's obviously more the vulnerable, and that's true. And there's a lot. I heard some fucking interview today where some young guy got it and he recovered from it in like 2 weeks, right? And he was like, but I just want to put the word out there that young people can get it, and it is hard. And it's like, yeah, like, don't get me wrong, there is young people dying from it and everything, and
They're
tragic.
just anomalies, though. That's just
It is, yeah.
statistics.
It's random cases where you're more than likely aren't treating it, or anything like that.
Mm.
But see, I really don't mind if I get it necessarily. It's because if I get it, I can pass it to my mom, who can pass it to my nanny, who
Mm.
can fucking die. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's in
true.
that sense of, and feel like the people who are out protesting, they're thinking in that first set of
In
mind of,
themselves.
I don't care if I get it. You know what I mean? Like, what am I gonna
Bruh.
die? No, I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm fine, right? But they're
Yeah,
not
healthy
thinking of
is
the
better.
consequences of not
Mm.
only passing it to people that they know necessarily. Like maybe their fucking
Mm.
mother or fathers live 8 miles away or 8 years away. Who knows? But they're not thinking
Yeah.
of just a random person they can give it to, who's caring for a person at home, who then can fucking catch it and die. And I think that's
Basically
just
kill
kind
them.
of, it's just fucking naive and
It's
selfish.
selfish.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
The,
all you have
the
to do is sit inside. What are you missing out on? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's,
They do that anyways on their
yeah,
keyboards. So like,
literally.
the the mindset
Ah,
that they have. You remember that chick from High School Musical? What was her name again?
Yeah,
No, no,
Vanessa Hudgens. Yeah, I know exactly what
Vanessa.
you're gonna say.
You see what she posted on
Yeah.
on IG, being like, oh well, like old people are gonna get it and die, but like
oh yeah, I seen that.
it's
Yeah,
inevitable.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's the
death
mindset
is
they have in
inevitable.
terms
Yeah,
of like, it's inevitable for them. So I mean, but for us, like, we want to live while we still have life.
dude, she's insane. Can we talk about
So
Vanessa
wait,
Hudgens?
wait,
Can
one
we get
sec.
her on?
get her on.
Before we get to that, I had to have this conversation talking to somebody about survivorship bias, right? And if so, basically, they were talking about how they saw this like Facebook shit, and they were like, "Oh, this woman got coronavirus, and then she used like these herbs and these fruits, and she cleared it, right?" And I said that, how do you know like this is effective? And she's like, "Well, this woman survived it." I was like, "Yes, but what about the other cases of people like who tried it?" And she's like, "No, see, yeah, because they're dead."
They didn't even die from coronavirus. They died from the herbs.
I'm like, you don't like you're seeing one person succeed with this. They probably went to the hospital. They probably were the people who are like who had very very minimal symptoms. But people who have like the actual like severe symptoms, looking at the shit, being like, oh, I'll do this too. Like, you fucking stupid. You're gonna die.
Yeah,
And
just get
there's
proper
other
help.
people
Just stop, like, I don't know.
looking at all these stupid remedies, being like, oh yeah yeah, it worked for her. I'm like, man, out of like 10 people, one person, it works for one person, and then they post it to millions. The
It's
other
them
nine people
Westerners,
are
man.
dead and can't say anything else about it because they're dead.
And listen, this is what I was
Oh.
thinking about, right? It came from, where was it? Wuhan,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is that where Western medicine comes from? Is that to the west to us,
No,
or is
it's
that
No,
like?
east,
Kind
I
of,
think.
we are Western medicine.
Oh, we are
America is
Western
Western.
medicine. Never
They,
mind. Eastern medicine. People are using it to
mm-hmm,
cure themselves. It's
mm-hmm.
it's all a scam. It's not even real. I'm on no, you know what? I'm on the protester side now. It's not real. Let's not fall
nothing's
for it,
real.
right?
We're in a simulation.
It's the Asians. they're, the,
Oh god.
Oh no.
they're trying to
It's the
bring us
bats,
down.
man. The bats are conspiring against us.
Yeah. Dude,
They
that's some of the best shit ever. Because some people actually believe that though. But then you go into like, like the, I don't know, like what are them things called? Articles. Like
Mm-hmm,
you go into the articles that they've put out saying like, oh, like it was a plan. But dude, have you
mm-hmm.
seen the stuff of like places like North Korea and Russia don't have any case, or like I think they might now, but they didn't have any
Oh, well, they
cases.
didn't report any cases.
Yeah,
yeah,
shut up.
yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
didn't have any cases. Dude, I was like, wait a minute, this could actually be real. And I was like, that's fucking sick. Dude, can you imagine how big brain they would be to release just a death virus on the world and they not die and then attack us?
Yeah, but
Unreal.
it
I
didn't.
wouldn't I wouldn't even defend myself. I would stand outside while the bomb rained down and clap. That's what I would do.
No, but
Clapping
What a
like you're
I
genius,
talking
would
to the
man.
NHS.
salute.
the thing never went to Beijing or like Shanghai. It was only
Yeah.
Wuhan that the thing went
Yeah,
to,
but that's
and then
because they locked that city down. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
they
they
were
let
Yeah,
because
nobody
China
in,
are
lad.
actually good at doing stuff. Like
Yeah,
China,
but
Japan.
like
listen,
they're like
same
fuck
with
your
Japan.
freedom.
listen.
They're like you're not
But that's the
humans
best way to
anymore.
do it, though.
No, I
Yeah,
mean,
but all the
the thing is,
scientists gone missing and stuff when they were
Yeah.
like trying to report it to
yeah,
Man,
Putin.
because
they were dying, bro.
they were. The thing is though, it's like in terms of how they've like kind of handled it, it was dumb in them trying to silence it the first time because they could have given everybody else a heads up. So that's where they fucked up. But in terms of them like containing it for their people, they did really well. But like shutting down the entire city
Hmm.
or wherever and having. But now I think they've released from they're kind of released from lockdown. They've gone the market that it all started at is back and up and running apparently, and
Yeah.
it's
Do you know?
you're sitting there
Do you
like,
know the first case of it wasn't had nothing to do with that market?
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was from a
It
lab
was
or some shit.
it was a lab. There's a lab
Yeah.
like 10 miles away or something, and that some guy was out researching bats because the SARS thing, and then
mm-hmm,
he got sick. Didn't
Like it was
he?
accidental. We're
Yeah,
not
it was
saying
actually
fucking it
like
was
well
conspiracy.
in quotate in fucking inverted commas,
Yeah,
but
accidental mark, possibly.
um,
Allegedly.
allegedly
mm-hmm,
it was an accident. So your man basically he got sick, was researching these bats, got sick,
mm-hmm,
but he'd already like passed it to people, obviously because like you just live a normal life because you
mm-hmm,
don't know you have it, and
mm-hmm,
he only had like mild symptoms or like not too severe things, anyways. And then
mm-hmm,
the so that was like patient zero, and then after like 2 weeks or something, I don't know the exact time frame now, but it's around a
mm-hmm,
week or 2 weeks. Then like the next people that started to get it were
mm-hmm.
associated with the market, and that
Yeah.
market that they say that it came from don't even sell exotic animals or bats. It's just like
Yeah. It was all
fruit and
just
veg and fish and stuff. They don't sell fucking monkeys
Okay. So
or
what
bats and stuff.
is that's already that's highlighting there another problem in that with this whole coronavirus, there's so many fucking stories attributed to like how it
hmm
began. There
Yeah.
should be a definitive story, being like this is it, because you're saying there like you have to say allegedly because we don't still don't know entirely. I saw this other thing where it was like virologists had pinpointed where it had like started from, and
yeah.
it didn't start from a bat. It started from like a pangolinian, some kind
No,
of
you see,
A
yeah,
Mandalorian?
yeah.
um,
That's what I heard.
Yeah, it's like a little
oh,
sloth looking yolk,
is
right?
it? I
A
don't know how to say it.
sloth?
It's like
Looks
a
like an
pangol.
armadillo sloth.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's
some
like
kind of thing. It's like a
a
picture like a sloth.
Legit, look it
Like
up.
some
pretty much.
whore.
Look it up. Look
It,
up Mandalorian or whatever. Fuck.
Pangolinian. Pangolinian? I think it's like a pangolinian or
just
pangolin.
get on
So,
with
Pang, a
Yeah, yeah, Carl, look
pangolin.
it up. Carl, look it up and put it in the stream
yeah,
it.
it looks like
Pangolinian.
a
It
fucking like
literally is an armadillo
scorpion. Like it's
sloth.
just
A pangolin.
Pangolin, yeah.
what do you say, sir?
Pangolin.
Pangolin.
And then
Pangolin.
John,
My
you
bad.
click on it
My
and
bad.
fucking
Bro, are
show
they
the
even
people,
in
man.
China?
Yeah,
What?
yeah, they are. No,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But you
yeah.
see, no, see,
So
there's
it's
Oh,
that
Chinese
but there
pangolin.
was
Yeah,
like
okay.
three different
no pangolin.
there's
My
like animal you see like COVID isn't like bats and pangolins and I think there's a couple other animals as well. They just some of them just happen to have COVID. It's the same with Ebola. Like Ebola wasn't some random, like anomaly. Like Ebola's just it's like out there, right? Like it's a
bad.
thing. Like COVID, like we've known that COVID-19 was
Yeah, like it
how do you
existed.
say associated with these animals,
Yeah.
but then it just
Mm-hmm.
happened that you just kind of got the wrong one. Do you know what I mean? Like or you
It adapted to be
yeah, the
deadly to
one that you're
humans.
like on purpose, the guy was testing this fucking bat with all these fucking diseases
There's videos
for
of him in a
for the reason.
cave with no mask. He just has like a what's them has cam suits or something.
Hazmat.
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 Hazmat suits.
Hazmat.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway.
Sky Australia did it. Look it up on YouTube. They
Hmm.
yeah, there's a video, promotional videos of your man in the cave, just like no mask,
Yeah,
just
just
has one of
vibing,
them
man.
suits on, and
Sitting in a cave eating a pangolin
just chucking one up with Bear
on
Grylls
his
on
lunch
the
break.
side.
And spitting on
Little
people.
flask at a lunch box.
Coughing up.
So that highlights the question in that like let's just assume that it came from around that area in terms of like it came from like the bats or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
or a pangolin. Yeah,
And
either way.
in in China, it's still you're still able to go. Let's say it's not from that specific market, but you can go to other markets and
Yeah,
order
yeah.
pangolins and like
Yeah, bat soup
bats and
is a
stuff
real
like
thing.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what would you do then if you were China? Would you just
Right.
ban the
They
Oh
did.
God,
the,
no.
would you
So
just ban eating like exotic
They
animals,
did.
or
No,
would you? I don't know if it's a full ban. It's just like it's just something like
yeah, I think they
Yeah,
just stopped the markets for a little
they
while
stopped.
though. I don't think they banned them.
I thought they
yeah.
banned them. I could be wrong, but I
Carl,
thought
look
they
that
that
up.
banned them.
that's
Carl, look that up.
most.
I think they're more so in talks of banning it, but I don't think it's fully gone
Um,
through yet.
That'll never be banned,
but you
man.
see,
And I
yeah,
just
that's the
see a
thing.
black
There's always going to be
market
that
for it.
underground shit. But do
Yeah.
you? Right,
Yeah.
this is going to be an excellent topic, and I'm glad it's at the end where nobody's listening anymore. If there was a
Hmm.
listener, you know the shit of like like them markets, not even the exotic animals, but like like the fucking dog markets. I don't know if there's cat
Hmm.
markets. There probably fucking is.
Yeah.
Cat markets. All them
Name an
animals.
animal, there's a market.
Any animal is a market, right?
Hmm.
Oh, this is going to be fucked. Do you think that's wrong?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
Why?
Why?
Well,
Because why? So why should? Oh, this is so fucked.
They're in a cage, man, with no food or water.
wait, wait.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that part is fucked, right? That when they're selling the live animals, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
Right, but you know the
that
ones
is
where
what
they're
that
like, there's
markets
just a
are.
fried dog hanging from the fucking.
Oh, but it's the ethics of how they died.
Ah, yeah,
They're just
fair
out the
enough.
back,
Like
like
what you're
slashing
saying
things
is
with machetes.
like who's to say what animals should and
Yeah,
shouldn't be
exactly. I'm saying what I'm saying
eaten?
is
Okay.
if you can't kill a dog and eat it, why can you kill a cow and eat it? Do you know what I mean? In
Okay.
that
So,
sense.
but here's my thing in terms of like, with the cows and all that. It's like we have certain things
It's
in
their
place
purpose.
for no what
It's
Yeah,
their
but a
cows don't.
dog's
purpose.
purpose isn't to be your best friend. Like that's not like we've made that.
Yeah,
We've
they're meant to
domesticated
help you.
dogs.
Dogs are, they were like,
I'm
they're
sure I
meant
could
to
train a
help you.
fucking cow to help me.
Help me
But they're gonna
not be
go fucking
hungry.
fetch your ball.
I mean, like, I think that my whole
Look,
thing is
look it
the
up.
animal.
Cow fetching a ball. I'm sure you can fucking find it. I'm gonna look that up.
Hang on, I'll do it.
Adam, Adam, Adam. My
Yeah.
whole thing is that I feel like the animals we've already started eating before, and we've built up a thing where mo- most diseases that we can get from
Oh
them,
my
we
god,
we're sorted.
it's the first
Yeah.
fucking
You know what I mean?
thing.
So,
Cow.
but when you start eating exotic animals and exotic stuff, you're
Yeah,
now
you don't know what you're gonna
introducing
get
the
from it.
likelihood of getting like random stuff that like first like firsthand now that like stuff we haven't experienced before. So it's like sticking to the safe shit, the meats we know that we have a
Yeah.
tolerance for, and then unless we can have like some kind of cure-all disease as to where like any disease you get like we could cure it, then we can eat whatever the fuck
But
you
that's
want.
because, like,
But
if I went out,
until then,
go
yeah.
on. If I went
No, I
out
said
and oh, for fuck's sake, you go, you go,
no,
you
no.
go.
Okay, but until then, you can't really start eating stuff we don't have the tolerance for. It's it's like going outside and just eating grass and be like, well, why can't I eat grass? I'm like, if you don't have
Yeah.
the tolerance for it, like, there's no point. You're just hurting
Wait, you guys
yourself
don't eat grass?
because we're not because
Herbivore Andy.
we're not gonna build a tolerance to it in our lifetime. It's gonna take like a few, I would say like a good few years before we have some kind of tolerance for any exotic animal. That makes sense because we're gonna need
Yeah.
vaccines. We're gonna have like fucking, and it's not only one disease they could carry. They could carry fucking hundreds. So
Yeah.
if you get like vaccine for coronavirus, like what's the likelihood a bat has like another four
Yeah, there's
diseases?
gonna be another one. I mean, it's already fucking given us Ebola. It's gonna give
Exactly.
us
So then
fucking COVID. It's gonna get
so,
worse, you know?
exactly. So that's already two diseases from eating exotic animals. Why would we go back again to
You
eating
see,
them again
that's the
when
thing
it's
though, because
clear that it's not for our bodies?
but no, I could be wrong, right? Let's be honest. We don't know anything,
Yeah.
right? So I
Yeah.
just take it all with a grain of salt. But
Oh
I
yeah,
feel like
of
so
course.
like
We're not claiming to be scientists here.
Carl, you were right there. The ethics of the killing the animals is wrong, right? You know, keeping a
How
dog in a
you kill it,
cage and
yeah.
killing it, right? But I always see
Hmm.
like people are like, oh, how could you kill a dog? How could you eat a dog, right? And I'm
Hmm.
like, what do you mean? How could you eat a dog, bro? Like it's like saying if someone had a pet cow, they'd be like, how could you fuck? Like I'm not gonna go out and eat fucking fluffles there on around the corner. But if you
Hmm.
if there was in place a dog
Pit man.
farm, right,
Hmm.
where dogs could run around and fucking play with each other in a thing, and
Yeah.
then the same way with cows, they get fed every day, they get watered every day, they have this big open area, and then you fucking bring them in and shoot them in the head and then eat them. Not only is that going to make them clean, like if I went out and ate a wild cow, I don't know if there's still wild cows in the fucking world, right? But
Hmm.
assuming there is, I'm sure I would get some disease from it, right?
Hmm.
Whereas if you are the one feeding, watching over the cows, you're not gonna give them a disease, and I feel like that's where the like when we started eating cows when we were fucking ooga boogas, right? That's when we were getting all our fucking diseases. Not only were we
No,
probably
it's the
not
way you
cooking it,
cook them.
yeah, I know, but
But
uh,
here's yeah.
I don't know.
Uh,
Basically,
I'd
I've
say
just
we're
said that I
getting
want to eat a
diseases.
dog.
We're getting deficient. Well, it depends on the cow, I suppose.
Yeah, but
I'm
there's
not.
other
If you
factors to
pump
take
them with,
into account.
yeah, if you pump them with growth hormone and shit like that, like,
Yeah, but like you gotta think like this doesn't happen in anywhere other than China, really. I'm sure it does kind of to an extent, but
Yeah.
in China it's the big place. China has the
South Africa as well,
largest
somewhere.
population in the
Yeah.
world. Like
Mhm.
there is not like they don't have enough space for all the people and all the cows. If you get me?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I'm not defending it. I'm not like for or against it. Like it's not harming me. I'm not over there eating dogs, and I'm not over there watching
But I
dogs
mean,
get eaten. But
Pippa's not hung up on it.
yeah, like
Not on
Pippa,
an
Pippa
umbrella.
doesn't know
but the thing is,
China exists. Pippa's my dog.
I mean, it is kind of harming us though, because like, look at what we're stuck inside because of like
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
the
but
hunt's
are
gonna eat
we?
the bat.
Is
But who
it
gives a fuck?
because of
But I
that?
know, but
Like,
I'm
who
just saying
knows?
like I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing like in case of like the ethics side of things. You know, in terms of ethics, like if it's clean or whatever, like if it's
Eat
like
it.
grown up
Yeah.
clean, doing whatever, and in the situation, I'm all for it. Like I'm from Africa, I can't really say shit because like we eat fucking scorpions and shit. I can't be. It'd be
Yeah, man,
hypocritical
fuck that.
of me to
Like,
be
they
like.
got venom sacs.
But it's just
Some tells me they don't eat them.
no, but it's just in terms of like eating stuff we're not
Yeah,
accustomed to.
100%. Yeah,
It,
yeah. Like you
that's
walk
why
out in
I'm
the
like I
jungle and
don't
pick up a snake. Like,
exactly.
yeah.
Like it's just in my eyes it's just stupid because
Well, yeah.
we're not accustomed to it, and then like, it's gonna take years upon years to get like vaccines to find all the diseases they possibly could have, and then there is just some shit that no matter how you cook it, and for example now, monkeys. We only found out a few like decades ago that eating a monkey's brain gives you like prions or some shit like that.
Yeah.
That goes that you can.
I think any brains. If you eat any brains, it's prions.
No, I think it's only like
what's
primates.
prions?
It's
It's like a
it's a protein that gives you a like a
like
form of disease or a virus or something like that. It
it
deteriorates your mind. It basically makes you insane. I guess is
yeah,
the
Oh,
way
okay.
of best describing it. It's a
but
disease that makes you insane.
it's and it's
They
you know
attach to
and
your
it,
brain.
you can eat like cow brains and shit like that, but I think it's only with primates that we
Yeah.
get it from.
Okay. Yeah.
So they saw it a
Basically
lot in like
cannibalism.
Oh
Mm.
yeah, no, that's
yeah
what I'm thinking of. Sorry, it was
yeah
cannibalism. Yeah, sorry, that's what I'm
yeah,
thinking of. Never mind.
yeah,
Yeah.
they saw a lot in cannibals like they would get it. So it's like they may be some other like animal, let's random animal out there like that we probably haven't eaten. Like they say like it's a specific breed of snake that if you eat it, no matter what way you cook it, because prions for them
Oh
to
yeah,
die, like
it's whatever. Yeah.
you cannot kill the prions. Like you can boil the shit in 1,000-degree heat and it's still gonna be there.
Hmm.
Like there's no way to get rid of them. So if you like get the snake, what's to say like this snake doesn't have something similar to that, and it could be more infectious as soon as you get it. It
Yeah.
could be like some kind of fungus that you can't get rid of that like spreads through the air, like could take control of your mind and shit. Like you, these are very real possibilities.
Yeah.
If that
No.
makes
Yeah.
sense. And it's
100%.
like
Yeah.
it'd be very stupid to be like, oh, like no matter what, because no matter what way a monkey has been grown up, how it's been fed, how it's been treated, it's still gonna have those prions.
Yeah. If you eat the brain, yeah.
So so why risk it, putting everybody's life in
Just
kind
don't
of
eat the
like
brain.
jeopardy?
Lol.
Yeah,
Forehead.
I know.
I know what you mean. I know what you
No,
mean.
I
But
know what you mean
then,
though. Yeah.
like,
Mm.
it's like I said before. There's more than just me hungry, me eat thingy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Like I'm
mean?
sure
Like you gotta take
Yeah,
into account
the
the
first guy. Where did
population
Ebola
and
come from? Does anyone know what
blah blah blah.
country?
I think it was
Mars.
I think it was like Congo or something
Was it
maybe.
Congo? Like I'm
I think
sure that was like not necessarily last resort, but that was the food that was available to that guy or that tribe or whatever. Like
it,
bats was the only
yeah.
fucking not healthy, reliable source of fucking food.
Yeah,
Like they're
like it was
staying
that or they
alive. It
die.
wasn't. He wasn't going.
I know it's
He
it.
wasn't going. This could be interesting. You know what I mean? It was,
Yeah, like fuck the
and it
chickens in
was.
my back
I'm sure he
garden.
had eaten 800 fucking bats before that, and then he just happened
I
to
know.
eat to get the one with Ebola. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, and as I say, like I'm not questioning the like
No,
the
I know.
morals
Yeah,
of them doing it because I know they don't have a choice in the matter. But I feel like the best case scenario would be in terms of like um putting money like research more towards like artificial food or like
yeah. Ooh.
so stuff that we could grow instead.
Yeah.
There's the thing was like artificial meat that they made that was like probably like a year ago that like
Yeah.
all the articles will talk about, oh, they made artificial meat. If they could focus more on that, then the need for eating these exotic animals would be lessened because they're not eating it for the taste. like beyond. They're not eating for a taste. They're eating for out
Yeah.
of necessity, which you can't like just, get mad at them
You
for. You have
see,
to understand that. But if you can make food that they can like meats or whatever readily available for them, then this negates all like conversation. They should be fine. But obviously that's in a perfect scenario.
I think there'd be a major issue with that though. If we, because that is a growing thing, especially like think about the amount of vegans and vegetarians and stuff that are coming in, and it's become a good choice now because you have all them substitutes that give you all the nutrients, not necessarily all of
Hmm.
them, but the ones you need, um,
Yeah,
uh, to not survive, but even just be healthy,
yeah,
Um, but I think you see, if we stop, if let's say we get to a point where we stop, or the demand for cows, pigs,
hmm,
all the animals go, dude, they
hmm.
just keep reproducing. We run out of space. Like, what's gonna happen? You literally have to kill
Oh,
them.
yeah,
That
but
sort of way. Like,
but but I'm not
it's an
saying that we
interesting
should.
thing, I think.
I'm not saying that we should
Oh
stop
no, I know.
like
I'm not saying that. Yeah, I
eating
know.
them all together.
No, but
We can have it both ways in terms like you
yeah,
can. I'm just talking like for example like in America now. Let's say they introduce the whole artificial meats thing. They could introduce artificial meats thing while still having normal meats available.
yeah. But
But in
if
China,
you do that,
they. Hmm.
the demand for that meat is still gonna go. Normal meat is gonna go down. Like, if I introduce a new thing, there's gonna be people that try it, right? Which means there're gonna be people
Yeah,
that crazily like it and go, right, I'm never eating another animal again. Which means that demand
yeah,
is gonna go down. Which means that farmer is gonna have, in order to make money, he's gonna have less cows on his fucking field. Which means he's gonna be killing cows just to like keep up. I don't know how to describe it,
Yeah.
but
Tiger
Well,
King
like
understand what I mean?
syndrome.
temporarily.
Like,
I know
yeah,
I know what you mean, but I feel as though just in America specifically, I feel as though like the demand will shift towards the equilibrium in terms of where like
yeah.
you'll
Of
be
course,
able
there's
to
always going to be them people that are, I'm not fucking eating that gay ass fucking.
exactly
Yeah, 100%.
exactly
I'm not denying that there's going to be a full overhaul. I'm just saying that there's, I don't know. Yeah,
at the
there'll
I
be
know what I
there'll
mean
be
I know what
farms
you
that
mean at the
survive,
beginning.
massive farms
Yeah,
that will survive, but yeah,
yeah, I know what you mean. At the beginning, a lot of farms are gonna suffer, and we do, the thing is, you don't even have to in America where they're good. You probably don't even have to introduce it to America. But in terms like in China, if you can introduce in meats of like, okay, you can have this meat that tastes like pork, this meat that tastes like beef, this meat that tastes like whatever, and have them like and have an abundance of that. But then and they can still have whatever like they can still have the cows, the
fuck
pigs,
shit
the
they want.
normal
Yeah,
like
yeah,
animals that we eat, but it's just all the exotic stuff. We could be like, okay, because the reason they were buying exotic because it was cheap. Now you can just be like, all right, now that we have this, we can put a ban on this and it'll be clean. Like nobody will be like, oh, but I
yeah,
need this to survive. I'm like, well, you don't because you can get this for 5 cents down the shop.
yeah.
You don't need
Because we're
this.
just literally making it. Like, it's like we're not even taking. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
it's just being produced. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And this is a fuck podcast.
True. But okay, here's
Star
the
Wars coronavirus and eating dogs. Here's the title.
here's the thing, right?
uh,
We're all inside because of coronavirus. We're all social distancing. We're being good citizens. All four of us here. I know there's people out there that aren't. Fuck y'all. But we're doing our thing. Hopefully it'll be over soon. The good thing, it gave us a title for our podcast,
True. Yeah,
the
we call it the
viral
viral
podcast,
podcast.
because it might go
Because
viral,
one.
and
Yeah.
there's a
Wait. No.
virus.
No. No. Let's just rephrase that.
All right,
It will
rephrase.
go viral.
It will go viral, and
And
there's a
we made it in
virus.
the virus. Yeah.
So there we go. It's the coronavirus viral podcast. Except we don't want to be associated with coronavirus forever. So when we
I
do
kind
go
of do.
viral, we'll just be the viral podcast. And then occasionally we'll be like, yeah, we made it during coronavirus, but we're not associated with that.
No.
You
What do
know,
you mean? Coronavirus is never going to end.
listen, man,
We're gonna
YouTube
be.
is
We're gonna be.
demonetizing channels that mention coronavirus.
Yeah.
Okay,
Shit. Fuck.
so there's that. All right, we've been going for
Actually,
like an hour and 15 minutes. We should probably wrap up soon if anybody has any final points to make.
Do you want to?
Eat
I have.
dogs. Eat dogs.
Don't do that.
Eat your dog.
Eat my dog.
Um,
Don't eat my dog.
Kim Jong Un is correct. Donald Trump, inject bleach into your bones.
Bones into your
That's
skull.
pretty much it.
Yeah, okay. I don't recommend anybody does any of that. What I do recommend
wanna get
people
some-
do is stay inside while this is going on.
If you're a pussy, wash your hands.
Wash your hands if you like pussy.
Fuck's sake, man.
Wash your hands if you have a pussy. There, that covers everybody. I think. And also wash your hands if you are a homosexual, because I'm pretty sure that's the only other
And also
type
click
of
off this
person.
video if you're homosexual.
Yeah, click off this video if you're homosexual. No, actually don't.
No
We love
jokes.
the
Put it in the
gays.
comments. We want you on.
Yeah.
Um,
First person who comments gets to be on the podcast. We'll have like a segment with our first ever commenter.
dude, segment, bro. I want the whole thing. You get to join us. You get to join the viral podcast team. You can
No.
replace intern Carl.
no.
We're not
You
doing
can,
that. No, we're not doing that.
you replace Peter.
All right, maybe. If you have a good mic, you replace Peter.
Wait, you... Get
Nah,
violated
jokes, man, jokes. Yeah. So, with that
So
being
this one
said,
was a bit scuffed. But
it's
we'll get better.
scuffed. We'll get
We'll
better.
get a bit more structured next time.
Yeah,
But I mean,
I
this
don't
one was
know.
kind of just a
I
little
have
tester.
current events, if you want to go over them quickly, just stealing ideas from other podcasts. But if you don't want, if you just want to wrap it up.
Let me see. I think we kind of did we cover anything with like the coronavirus or anything?
We covered most, yeah, but I doubt it's. I don't know. We can save them for next week
Okay,
if you want, or we
these
can...
are like all college oriented, so maybe in the next episode we'll have like a college section when we talk about college
Yeah, we
and
can
stuff.
talk about
Yeah.
fucking
That's-
college life and shit.
Yeah, because obviously
But I
we're all
think
in
Carl
college, all
has
in the
like
same college.
actual, not them.
Oh.
Like he has a little.
No, like actual like news things.
Yeah, like
All right. Well, we can if you want. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah,
in any
fuck
hurry
it,
to
add it
stop.
in. Who gives a
All right, let's
fuck?
go.
Sure, we can cut it. Cut it out. Just make sure it works for next time, I suppose.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
man,
we can
say
we
cut
can
it.
cut out this outro, and then just
True.
go into the current events, and then we'll have another outro at the end.
I.
All right. What are the
let's
current
go with-
events?
Hang on, let me change.
All right, let me- Does Carl want to just say I've got some current events again?
Okay. Right. What do I just go whenever?
Whatever you
okay.
want, Carl.
Okay.
Or do you want me to
Uh,
say? Do we have anything else to say?
No, I'll just say it.
Okay, go.
Okay, fucking dick. I'll come in that room and shove my dick up your ass.
Okay.
Ah!
Leave that one in, John.
Capital D colon.
Okay.
That could be our outro. I'll shove my dick over your
Right,
ass.
we're going to finish out with some current events. So hang on, I'll do my screen thing here. Go live.
John, hop on that.
I hope
We
you
also
can-
have a. Actually, no, never mind. We'll talk about it in the next one.
Ooh,
All right, watching
the
the screen.
king.
Okay.
The king is back.
Can you all see?
Yep.
Yeah.
I can see.
Okay. So we have 6ix9ine announces he will return next Friday, as in May 8th.
Oh,
and
fucking
then
UFC
receives
on May 8th?
permission. You what?
nothing. Go on.
And then he was actually released from prison because he has asthma.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just thought he didn't
Uh,
want to catch it. I just thought he was being a pussy.
No, he has. Due to the rapper's medical condition, his asthma would have put him at risk, thus making it difficult for him to fight the virus if he were to contract the illness while behind bars.
Interesting.
What a
So
hero.
he gets to shoot a music video. Where is it? For 2
Just-
hours
yeah, it's
outside
two-
his
yeah.
thing. And
I think about 8
of
hours in his
recording.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
to
recording
make music. So I think he's coming out with stuff next Friday, because he says.
Dude, can
that's
you
his-
imagine if it's trash? If this is
If-
trash,
no.
I'm actually gonna cry. Like, genuinely
No.
gonna cry.
Mm.
But the thing is, though, no matter even if it's trash, she's gonna make a lot of money from it. A lot of
Oh,
people
yeah,
will
100%,
put the
yeah.
hype.
You know,
But the
that.
thing is, you kind of wait, like you kind of feel bad for his situation because he can't do shit.
Yeah,
Like,
what's he
even
gonna
let's
say
say,
now?
no, but no, not even that. Because if he made a song about snitching, I don't lie to you, I'll be bumping it.
I
But
swear that's Lil
like,
Pump.
well,
Looks like Lil
No,
Pump's
no.
face.
it look-
Yeah.
Oh, there we
it's
go. Okay.
definitely 6ix9ine.
I
But
can only
I
see the
mean,
top of his head.
like his family and shit must be in fucking living in terror from like
Oh,
the gang.
100%. Jesus.
Because like they will fuck him up, and like if they don't get to him, they'll get to somebody else who knows him.
Yeah, he's kind
Um,
of safe now on house arrest. To be honest, it's probably the best situation he could be
No,
in a
what do you
sense
mean?
of he can
Not-
still. No, in a sense of he can
not-
still
not
release
really.
music.
Not really though, because
Wait,
in
you don't
terms
think
of,
he's gonna
like,
have some form of protection?
That's he knows where he is.
Yeah, that's I'm
Nah.
saying he's gonna have some protection, or whatever. But like, I don't think you understand. Like, gangs will come like at any, like if he just walks outside of his gaff just to like get fresh air, he can be fucking shot.
True.
Like drive-bys are very much a thing. I guess it depends on the placement of his house. If he's got like, if he's got like a gate like further down and like his house is a bit further down
Yeah.
from the street, maybe he's look. But if he has like just like a normal gaff to where like you can walk down like like in front of like the driveway and shit, you're fucked.
I reckon we should do a bet, or not a bet. How long
Let's
is he
let's
gonna
bet on
last?
6ix9ine's life.
Yeah, 6ix9ine's life. Let's bet on it. Right, Peter. How long do you think?
On his
From
life, I
now,
don't.
how many months? Oh, not
I
months.
don't.
Sorry, just how much time?
We can't put that in. Jesus
But
Christ.
of course you can. I give
Yeah, of course.
4 months.
I give him.
4 months.
I give him
The
2
Edgy
years.
podcast.
Yeah.
2 years?
Yeah, I'm
Bruh.
with Peter. 2 years.
2 years.
Because
Dude, they'll
because
forget
Yeah,
about it.
he's
They don't
gonna
give a
be
fuck by
locked
them.
in his house for a good while, and then once
Yeah.
he gets out, then he's gone.
because like obviously with the whole police like patrols and shit because of coronavirus, like the gang can't just walk around and do
Of
whatever
course
because
they
they
can.
do want the gang do want to have lives and like not be
Episode
in jail.
36.
So I think they're gonna
6ix9ine
wait
is
it
dead.
out.
That's gonna be.
Right. Moving on then. 6ix9ine responds to 50 Cent saying he won't work with Takeshi, saying it won't be the first time 50 abandons his son.
Oh,
Throwing shade. Um, apparently 50 Cent said he'd picked Takeshi over his actual biological son or something, and then yeah, 50 Cent said when he came out of jail that he wouldn't work with him in some interview. I can't remember what the interview was. But yeah, so that's probably
Yeah, I get that
It's
though.
just
Like
50
50
Cent
Cent
not wanting to
is like a
die. That's all it is.
no, but 50 Cent's like a proper gangster. Like 6ix9ine's a bitch
Yeah.
gangster, if you get me. 50 Cent,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like back in the day, was a proper gangster, and he like I reckon he wouldn't associate with him just on the fact that he's a snitch.
Yeah, like he'd lose a lot of
Yeah.
respect, like a lot of
Oh
rep.
yeah,
Not rep. I know
100%.
he's not fucking gangbanging or shit, but like in a sense of he'd just be less of a
Yeah, like, as in,
icon. Yeah, it would affect his
he know-
image.
I know what you mean. He doesn't gangbang, but he still has like friends and people. who
Exactly.
do.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And like snitching is like one of the cardinal sins when
Oh,
it
of
comes to like
course. Yeah.
being in a gang. You can't snitch on your boys. They like you, no matter what, you can't snitch on your boys no matter what they do to you. And like he's not the first one. There's so many artists who are like
Yeah.
fuck this. Like people were calling Nicki Minaj a bitch for even working with him before everything came out. Like
Yeah.
that's how deep that shit goes.
Yeah, and then 50 Cent's son said he say he would just claim a rat? He questioned, no, I don't want part of it. Basically, he doesn't want any part of his of 50 Cent's life. So yeah, that's more rap beef, I guess. Then UFOs hashtag
Oh
confirmed.
yeah. Did you see this? Did anyone else see this?
Yeah, so
Guy
Yeah, I
tweeted the
saw
other day,
this.
Greg something. He tweeted saying we literally confirmed the UFO's existence and nobody's talking about it. It was like 3 videos. Watch, we don't even have to fucking read it, man. I fucking knew this shit.
Yeah.
It was
no, yeah,
3 videos from 2014 and 2004 or some shit, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's 2014 or 2017. Hang on.
No, because it was leaked in 2017
These
or
videos
something.
are probably published in
Yeah.
2017 and 2018.
Uh,
And it was captured in 2004 by the
yeah,
US
shit's
Navy.
crazy though. It was like 3 fucking UFOs on a boat, and but I don't know.
That's the
I don't
video
think it's
there.
real. Like I do
Oh,
think
it's
there's other
definitely not
life
real.
out there,
You
but
kidding me?
no, not in a sense of. But I don't think it's fucking aliens. It's probably just some fucking Russian cunt out in a boat, like or
Yeah,
not a
and
boat,
also
in a plane. Like I believe that there's life out there, but I don't think they're here. Like I don't
Yeah,
think
like
there's any cunts
are
on
you
Mars.
telling me like okay, there's two things. Are you telling me first of all that the Pentagon they're just like, you know what, release that footage. Out like a week after Trump tells people to inject themselves with bleach. Like that's clearly a, you know what, telling people that that aliens exist even if they don't is better than the president of the United States, which is considered the strongest country in the world, the most powerful country, telling people to inject bleach.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hun-
true.
this is bullshit of the
Yeah, he was
highest
like, I
degree.
fucked up, guys. Release the videos. Release the videos.
Yeah. And
I
second of all, are you
watched-
telling me like I can be spied on in my back garden by satellites, But in 2017, all they could get was a black and white photo of a fucking hat in the
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
heard.
in the
yeah.
distance.
Every UFO video is this quality. Like, there's literally no 4K like recording
Yeah.
of anything ever. So I don't know.
Not even
It said
4K. Just give it to me in
captured
color.
Yeah, it did say it was captured in 2004, but
Yeah, 2004. And I mean that's
sure,
that's
and there's more videos from since 2004. So
yeah.
and cameras have come on. There's also a funny little.
Oh my god.
Turn that down.
I'ma fuck your bitch, nigga. I'ma.
Thanks for that,
Hang on,
Carl.
Jesus.
hang on. I'll read you that. I'll start that again.
No, that's
Okay.
good enough. That's good enough.
Okay, breaking life footage of inside. Yeah, fuck. Captured.
That's not even the fucking video. That's Elon Musk's thing.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'll lower it down. So apparently, this came from some guy on
This is
Twitter.
what's inside UFOs, is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
I'ma fuck your bitch, nigga. I'ma fuck your hoe, nigga. Trunks in my bag like I'm sipping on a phone, nigga. Finna hit the room with your bitch. Started sucking. I'm going real shining.
Bro,
So,
that's
Oh yeah, that
brilliant.
was just a 10 out of 10 quality content there.
And then
brilliant.
there's this tweet saying people are dying, there are UFOs flying around. Kim Jong Un might be dead, and you want me to write a research fucking paper? Just thought it might.
Honestly, true,
I
man.
swear to God, bro, if Kim Jong Un dies, I'm fucking out. I'm out. I don't give a fuck. That's me gone.
I'm going to
Man.
Korea. Shout out to Carl's name in the bottom left of the screen.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Follow me on Twitter, guys. Oh,
But,
shit.
yeah, he's fucked.
We're gonna have to. Oh crap.
I'll just blur it out. It's fine.
Okay. Then when you were talking about the Mandalorian, apparently they're doing a behind the scenes story thing.
The enthusiasm.
Hang on.
So much
There you
of
go.
this
Of how they made it or
process is
something.
about problem
Yeah.
solving
I don't
and
watch
making
it, so-
Man, is she in it?
Everyone is coming with their own
Who is she?
experiences to
Is she the woman with the
galaxy
weird
that can
helmet?
support it.
And then also have a group of filmmakers who were
Maybe.
not afraid to jump in.
Oh no, she's a filmmaker.
It's hard to believe all these
Yeah,
years
she's an
later,
actress as well.
there's such energy around news stories in this world.
The volume put me back in a set as if it was built.
The outside is
The
all
baby
four
Yoda is
walls
literally
and
the
top
cutest
is
shit
video.
ever.
Oh, he's amazing.
That
He's
was,
so
for me,
wholesome.
one of the most rewarding experiences as someone who just loves Star Wars.
Oh, that looked fucking sick.
It was like one of the weirdest and best things that ever happened with Werner. He was acting against the baby, and he started directing the baby directly. I'm trying to direct Werner, who's now directing the puppet. He was telling us we needed to commit to the magic, make them use the puppet.
IG-11 was like IG.
I don't know if you want
They
to watch
built
the
him
whole
out of parts
lot
of
of it.
the old cantina set
Fuck,
from A
it's
New Hope.
interesting,
We
though.
as children like that. It's the
I love
cool
him.
assassin robot.
Taika
Just bolted
Waititi.
to the floor.
We're trying to draw from all over Star Wars.
That was one of the coolest scenes in the
Oh,
whole thing. This
honestly.
part. Oh, insane. And to put it in the first episode, it was insane.
Sometimes
I have to
think
say I
it's
loved
just
it,
like
but-
anything in any different scene. You just have
And I was so
energy,
happy when
and
he
you
came
can
back
see
into
that
it
in the
as the
physicality,
little
you can
man's
see that
fucking
in the
tea
acting.
maker.
George reiterated, remember to make these stories hopeful, to give that to kids because they really need it. It's important to the foundation of Star Wars, but we don't just want action, we want to feel uplifted. And Star Wars ultimately is about family. It is really saying there is a lot of hope out there.
Who plays Mando?
I can't remember his name. He's not somebody that I actually recognize. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
sure.
So yeah, it starts May the 4th
Oh,
on Disney
that's
Plus.
I'd recommend
That's
that
sick.
to anyone.
Also, the new Star Wars film comes out on May 4th on Disney Plus.
What
There
film?
you go.
The third one
Um,
in the series, the most recent.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The Rise of Skywalker. In Ireland anyway. I don't know. About
Trash. Don't
Yeah,
watch it, guys. If you want to save yourself some time, listen
Alright.
to our podcast.
What else
okay,
do we got?
Then last thing is Dana White came out and said Khabib versus Ferguson is not confident it'll happen in 2020, and
Ugh.
apparently other articles are saying it won't basically happen ever.
Oh
So
wow.
Yeah, because this is like the fifth time, and it's
Yeah.
it took the first two times each person, the first four times each person pulled out twice, and on the fifth time, a fucking pandemic stops it. Like it's just
And it's cursed.
it's just a curse thing. It's never gonna happen.
Also,
If
just
I
like H2
Yeah,
is
just
saying
on the
that
eighth.
basically he was saying, I don't know, I can't remember, I think it was on Joe Rogan's podcast, that because he took the first when who pulled out first
Khabib.
of Khabib pulled out
Yeah.
for the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Justin was like, or because the thing was cancelled, or Khabib was stuck in Russia. Justin was like, "Oh yeah, I'll take him," and then he's basically being a little bitch because he has to do a full camp, and
Oh, yeah, in
doesn't have the
quarantine.
excuse of like, "Oh yeah, I took it on short notice," and stuff like that. And then last thing is you wanted to see a cow play
Ah,
fetch
yes, see?
with 18,
Fuck you guys who
16
kill
million.
cows, bro. I'm gonna become a vegan. Look at this dude. He's fucking playing fetch.
Turn it down a little bit.
Why is this? Why is this music on? Look at him, he's so fucking happy.
Oh wow. he
This is
actually
what you're murdering.
I mean, it's tasty, innit?
He's so fucking happy.
Why is it so loud though? Oh my god.
Yeah, he's louder than this, like everything. It's like Carl lowers it down and he's like, nah, fuck that shit.
Shut up.
That's actually.
This is the
Oh
best thing
no. Oh, I thought it was on the ground. I thought it was like crab walking.
ever. This turns into
It's just a
crab.
small cow. That's a really small cow. Go on, throw it for it again.
Its legs are
It's
so
not even
small.
touching it.
He's a fucking retard, bro.
And he's
Can't
actually
believe
bringing
Cole-
it back to the person.
Yeah. Dude, some dogs don't do that. They just take it. They're like,
Get him nice and fattened up.
he's like, he's like, where the fuck did it go?
So yeah, that's pretty much everything.
See, boys, stop killing cows, man. If we've just
Honestly,
convinced
man.
everyone to stop to be a vegan.
True.
Kill
Any
them.
truers in chat?
Yeah, true. Fucking murder them.
They tasty as fuck.
Alright.
Murder dogs as well.
We got our wholesome content in there at the end.
Yeah, if
The-
anyone stuck around to the end, you're welcome.
You are welcome. Yeah. Bringing balance back into the universe.
Yeah, after complaining.
Oh man.
That's what we'll do at the end of everything. We'll have a wholesome video.
True.
I think that's a good place to end it, though.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So this has been our first episode of the Viral
Yeah.
Podcast. Hope you listened and enjoyed, and maybe in the future this will be a big thing, and we'll go viral.
Stop saying if, man. When?
When we
It's
go
gonna get
viral,
better. Don't worry.
and when we get viral, you'll have been here for the first episode.
Exactly.
All right.
I'll give $10,000
You will, yeah.
after I make my first $50,000 to the first person that comments on this video. Not only are you getting on the podcast, but you're getting $10,000
Eventually.
Canadian.
Just need
And
sponsorship.
Terms and conditions apply.
yeah,
Rupees, man, rupees.
yeah.
That's like what, 10 quid?
Ah man, that's still something. It's for nothing really.
Hang on.
Yeah, we'll get better though.
Yeah.
Our first ever money that we make will buy Peter a new mic.
True.
Thanks, boys. Thanks, boys.
And yeah, hopefully to someone, thanks for listening.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back. I don't know. We'll probably make this.
Probably next week.
Yeah, I'll probably make this a weekly thing, at
Fuck
least
it,
for the
yeah.
time being. See how things work out.
Every day.
We'll be
Yeah, every
back.
day of our lives.
We'll be back at 11 p.m. Nah, I'm kidding. We'll try and make it a weekly thing, and it'll be a fun little project. All right. Thanks for listening.